It's the 27th of May. Good morning and thanks for joining us on Mega News at 6 on MBN TV, live and direct from our studios, 10th Avenue Extension, Greater Estate, Nungwa Ajogono. The news is also live on all our socials on MBN 360, and I'm Wendy Lati. Now the headlines.
Blue Day 2026, Gender Minister declares nationwide fight against human trafficking. In business, Atuforsen present one Ghana Cedi Dumsor levy utilization report to Parliament. On the international front, 4 killed after school minibus collides with a train in Belgium.
These and many other more stories coming up shortly. Now, news in details. The Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Agnes Namomo-Lartey, has urged all Ghanaians to stay vigilant and actively support efforts to fight human trafficking, especially the increasing trend of trafficking related to sports activities and deceptive migration schemes.
The Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Agnes Namomo-Lartey, has launched a nationwide campaign against human trafficking ahead of the 2026 commemoration of the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, popularly known as Blue Day, warning that trafficking syndicates are increasingly targeting young Ghanaians through fake sports recruitment, cyber-enabled exploitation, deceptive travel opportunities abroad. Speaking at the official launch of the July 30th observance, the minister urged Ghanaians to remain alert and report suspicious activities, stressing that human trafficking continues to strive when communities fail to protect vulnerable children and young people. Dr. Lartey expressed concern over the growing trend where unsuspecting youth are lured with promises of football contracts, scholarship, jobs, and better opportunities overseas, only to end up exploited by criminal networks. She noted that traffickers are now using digital platforms, fake immigration arrangements, and online deception to target victims. The minister described the media as a critical partner in the national fight against trafficking, calling on journalists and the media houses to intensify public education, expose trafficking operations, amplify survival stories to encourage prevention and reporting. She further called for stronger collaboration between government agencies, civil society organizations, development partners, and local communities to deepen awareness and strengthen nationwide prevention efforts ahead of this year's Blue Day activities.
The fight against human trafficking remains a priority for the government of Ghana. Over the years, Ghana has strengthened its legal and institutional response through the Human Trafficking Act, Act 2005, Act 694, as amended by the Human Trafficking Amendment Act 2009, Act 784, alongside related provisions within our criminal justice, child protection, and cybercrime frameworks. Government institutions continue to work closely with law enforcement agencies, civil society organizations, international partners, traditional authorities, and community-based actors to prevent trafficking, rescue victims, prosecute offenders, and support survivors. I am pleased to know that these collaborative efforts are yielding results. Several rescue operations and investigations have been conducted in recent years, leading to arrest, prosecution, and convictions of suspected traffickers and exploiters. Over the past 5 years, Ghana has recorded a steady increase in the number of victims rescued.
Still in government, the Member of Parliament for Salaga South, Hajia Zuwaira Ibrahima, has called for intensified public education and youth sensitization to help curb human trafficking in Ghana.
Presidential staffer Hajia Zuwaira Ibrahima has called for intensified youth sensitization, nationwide awareness campaign to help combat the growing threat of human trafficking in Ghana. According to her, many young people continue to fall victims of trafficking syndicates due to limited awareness, deceptive migration promises, and false opportunities linked to jobs, education, and sports activities abroad. Speaking during the activities ahead of the 2026 Blue Day commemoration, Hajia Zuwaira Ibrahima stressed the need for sustained public education in schools, communities, and cross-digital platforms to equip the youth with knowledge to identify and avoid trafficking traps. She further urged parents, community leaders, the media, and government institutions to work together to protect vulnerable young people from exploitation and abuse, emphasizing that prevention through education remains one of the strongest tools in the fight against human trafficking.
I have commended the minister many times for highlighting and bringing visibility to the work of the ministry, and we want to encourage her. She's doing so much, especially in the area of children. And so doing this today for me is another layer of a milestone that she's chalked. If you listened carefully to the address of the presentation that we watched, we were told that the human trafficking unit of the Ghana Police, headed by Superintendent William Ayariga, is making a lot of strides in terms of arrests and dealing with issues. The interesting part is that the data shared indicated an increase every year in the number of cases that they've managed. That speaks to what is happening today, that there is an awareness that enables people to report such cases to ensure that the law enforcement agencies are brought in and it is curtailed. So sports will remain sports. We all love our sports, but we have to work on the young people, and that's the crux of your question. What is missing? We need to engage with them. If you listen to you read the Hague Declaration of the Protection of the Child, 1966, it didn't end at the protection, but it also put a responsibility on parents. So as parents, as society, as government, we have a duty, we have a responsibility to the youth of this country to open their minds, to keep them, make them aware of happenings out there. And I mean, all of us know this glossy saying that not all that glitters is gold. Although if you listen carefully to Mr. Brimes, watch his presentation, they will come with all sorts of proposals, making it look like you are literally being sent to heaven. Ask questions. It's one thing I urge Ghanaian youth. As a politician and as an adult and a mother, I still ask questions. I usually want to understand things. Don't just get carried away with what you've told.
Moving on, Minister for Communication, Technology and Innovation, Samuel Nartey George, has moved to calm public concern over the proposed National Information Technology Authority (NITA) bill, stressing that the document in circulation is only a preliminary draft with no legal force.
The Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, Sam George, has clarified that the proposed National Information Technology Agency (NITA) bill is still at the draft stage and has not yet been submitted to Cabinet for consideration. According to the Minister, ongoing stakeholder consultation and technical reviews are being conducted to ensure legislation is adequately addresses Ghana's evolving digital governance and cyber security needs before it proceeds to the next level of approval. Sam George emphasized that government remains committed to building a stronger legal and regulatory framework for the country's digital transformation agenda, whilst ensuring transparency and broad stakeholder engagement throughout the legislative process. His clarification comes amidst growing public discussions, speculations surrounding the status of the proposed NITA bill and its potential impact on Ghana's digital ecosystem and data governance framework.
And now in business, Finance Minister Dr. Kaseo Atuforsen has laid before Parliament a detailed report on the utilization of proceeds from the 1 Ghana cedis fuel levy imposed on petroleum products for the 2025 fiscal year.
Finance Minister Kaseo Atuforsen has presented to Parliament a detailed report on the utilization of proceeds from the 1 Ghana cedis Energy Sector Recovery Levy, popularly known as the Dumsor Levy, outlining how the funds have been used to support Ghana's struggling power sector. The report provides an account of revenue generated from the levy and its application towards reducing energy sector debt, supporting power generation and stabilizing electricity supply across the country. Presenting the report before the lawmakers, Dr. Atuforsen stressed government commitment to transparency and accountability in the management of energy sector funds amidst continued public concerns over power supply challenges and the rising cost of electricity. The finance minister noted that the levy remains a critical intervention aimed at sustaining operations within the energy sector, ensuring fuel supply for thermal plants and preventing a return to prolonged nationwide power outages. The presentation is expected to trigger further parliamentary scrutiny and debate over the effectiveness of the levy and broader measures being implemented to restore financial stability within the Ghana's energy sector.
The first one happens to be the annual report on the management of the energy sector levies and account for the year 2025. Mr. Speaker, this report details how the monies received and accrued to the state on the back of all the petroleum taxes were utilized, particularly the one relating to the management of the energy sector debt recovery. And so, Mr. Speaker, the details of the report, the details are in the report and has accordingly been presented to the committee for deliberation. And when the committee invites us, we'll go and present the details.
On the international front, 2 children aged 12 and 15 and 2 adults have been killed in a collision between a train and a school minibus in Bagenhout, northern Belgium.
At least 4 people have been killed following a tragic collision between a school.
On the morning bulletins on MBN TV, I am Wendy Lati, but before we leave, a recap of the top stories.
Blue Day 2026, Gender Minister declares nationwide fight against human trafficking. In business, Atuforsen present 1 Ghana cedi Dumsor levy utilization report to Parliament. On the international front, 4 killed after school minibus collides with a train in Belgium.
For more news, log on to MBN 360 on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Thank you for watching. Stay and enjoy the rest of our programs. Good morning. Up next, a sports update. Stay tuned.